Hello and welcome to another Chelsea chat, and today it was Everton 2, Chelsea 0. And no one was surprised, were they? I wasn't. I keep hoping that this team aren't as average as individuals as I'm assessing them as because of the cost of them. But I can't see hardly any. I'll leave Cole Palmer out of it, but I can hardly see any creativity, any imagination in the last third. A lot of very limited, overpaid, overrated, underperforming players with no team ethic. We're poor. We're 12th in the Premier League for a reason, and that's because we're poor. We deserve to be 12th in the Premier League. And Everton, who played like a team today, deserve to be higher. If we're brutally honest, people are saying, "Oh, we had 71% of possession." Yeah, you will have against a Sean Dyche side. He knows, we've played against them enough time. Pochettino has played against Burnley enough times, surely. And Everton were always going to do what Sean Dyche always does: lets you have the ball. Pochettino afterwards, we had control of the game. No, you didn't. Everton allowed you to have a lot of the ball, 71%. But our chances weren't really clear cut. The best chance, really, I think, was probably the Cole Palmer shot that Pickford, he made it look like the save out of the 1970 World Cup final from Gordon Banks. He made a right meal of it. But it was a good shot. Other than that, we weren't a team. Brozier up front looked like a player that had been out for months, so I'm not gonna judge him. When he was holding the ball up, he was isolated for a start, and when he was holding the ball up, no one was getting to him particularly quickly. It was a mess. The same as it was against Manchester United, and the same as it was against Newcastle. Players not working hard off the ball, although it was an improvement today on the Man United game, but not enough. Mudryk, very, very fast. His second touch is a tackle. He's got to improve, surely. For 80 million, this Paul Winstanley must have watched him and watched him and watched him and seen something that we haven't seen at Chelsea yet. Reece James went off injured again. Now, why didn't he have that operated on? People telling me tonight, he didn't have the operation, his hamstring. You can be the best player in the world, and if you play once a season for your club, it's a waste of time, isn't it? And when he goes off, what is the fascination with bringing Colwell on at left back when you've got Maatsen and just moving Dizazi over to right back because he's right-footed? Because Cucurella, at the end of the day, he ran around like a headless chicken and like he normally does, and he was okay. But there's no attacking threat from him. He bolts forward and he has to go on to his left foot. So what happens is he looks around and passes it backwards. Every single time. Passed it forward twice today in that right position. Once to Sterling, whose first touch was diabolical. I think the other one was meant to be for Sterling. Could have been for Cole Palmer. But it went out anyway. It was just a mess again. Just a mess. Maatsen played at left back for Burnley last year. He was their player of the year. Now, why not just stick him in at left back? I don't get it. I don't get Poch. I don't know what they're doing on that training pitch, because we're 15, 16 games in now, plus cup games. I was expecting us to start looking like a team. And we're a million miles off it. And yes, the referee was shocking, but we expected that. Booking Cole Palmer for basically evading a tackle and tripping. He wasn't trying to get a penalty. His arms weren't thrown up in the air. What was he get booked? I thought that, diving was when he was trying to gain an advantage. He wasn't. He got up on his feet and still got booked by that knobhead. Excuse my French. Absolute idiot, that geezer. One of our top refs, crikey. I wonder what the worst ref's like. He must be doing that round players' faces to know where they are. Absolutely shocking. I can't say much more. We're just not a team. We're a very, very average Premier League football team. We are where we deserve to be. Pochettino, in the interview afterwards, we might have to go into the transfer market to improve the team. Well, try and improve those players that are there already. Try doing that. That's your job. Try motivating them. And that's difficult, particularly when you've got players who are so easy to jump out of a tackle. That Mudryk, talk about powder puff. He backs out of everything. Oh, and while we're talking about powder puffs, the first goal, Levi Colwill, attack the ball. I'm sick of saying it. 3 or 4 games this season, attack the ball, cut the space down, throw your body in front of the shot. It's not rocket science, it's defending. You give them that much space to shoot, they'll shoot. All this arm behind the back, throw yourself at it. Oh. And the second goal, I've not even looked who the 2 powder puffs were, but when he shoots, there's 2 of our players turning their back. Oh, I don't want to get hurt by the ball. Embarrassing. I'll look later on and I'll go on their Twitter and I'll say, try facing the ball. Try facing the ball. I mean, admittedly, with the money that we've spent on some of these players, they should have eyes out the back of their heads. That should be a bare minimum. But they haven't. So when you're turning your back on the ball, you can't see the ball. How can you possibly stick your knee or your chest or your head in front of it? That was basics when we were school kids. Don't turn your back on the ball. Powder puffs. That annoyed me more than anything. That annoyed me more than not being able to pass to someone in the same colour as you. Some people were pressing, some weren't. Gallagher was trying. I'm not sure everyone was. He didn't have his best game, but he was trying. I suppose he's going to get loads of stick. I suppose it'll be his fault we lost. I don't know what to say. In fact, I'm not going to say anymore. I'll give up. We are where we are because we deserve to be there. And I don't see it changing anytime soon. I love the club, so I should still be supported every week, and hopefully soon I'll be back at the bridge. But I can't. It's back to the old days. If you cared about your supporters, the very minimum you do is run your balls off. And I don't see that happening. Gallagher aside. Right. Sanchez, who's also injured now, and the reserve goalkeeper, he certainly fluffed his first Premier League corner, didn't he? He punched it, I think. It was a flap. It was like a Tyson Fury jab against Nagano. And I say it went out about 5 yards. Debutant, Dobie or Dobbin or something, some sort of horse name. He hits it. Our cowards in the back turn their back, and the keeper didn't really have a chance with a shot. Yeah, so he got a baptism of fire, didn't he? This is what the Premier League's like. You don't get a clear run at the ball like you do in the States. But I can't judge him on that. He came on cold, and he's not played any minutes of competitive football, has he? Sanchez, great save to his right-hand side. Distribution, that couple of times I was absolutely bricking it. When he leaves it to the last minute to clear it. But some good saves. He gets a 6. Reece James gets a 5. Doing okay till he had to go off. He's not the Reece James of old. Clearly carrying an injury and a little bit of weight, it looks to me. But he's had to go off again, so that's him gone for another few months, no doubt. Just inside him, Disaster. Disaster out of position, headed backwards. Didn't get any sort of distance on it to give him a corner, I think, for the second goal. Out of position most of the time. Some atrocious passing. Gets a 4. Just inside him, Badiashile was my man of the match. He gets a 7. looked pretty accomplished, always getting back, trying to be in his position. My man of the match, a 7. Kukureya gets a 5. Can't fault his effort. Don't know if he can see where he's going with that mop on his head. Gives 100%. Just in front of him, Enzo gets a 4. Thought it was very poor today. I've not checked his running stats yet, but they're not going to be great. Passing, easy option most of the time. Caicedo gets a 5. Few decent challenges. Again, don't look like his heart's in it. Don't look like he knows where Fernandes is going to be. They're just a pivot. Jesus, excuse the blasphemy for Christians out there. In front of them, Gallagher gets a 6. At least he put a shift in. Not his greatest game. Didn't always make the right option. But do you know what? Without him, we can see what we're like. We saw that in Manchester the other night, and we were certainly better today. Mudryk gets a 5. First half, used his pace a couple of times, but he just knocked off the ball so easily. His second touch is a tackle. I don't know what to make of him. He's going to have to really improve to get near half his price tag. I know the price tag's not his fault, but looks way below what we were expecting. Cole Palmer gets a 6. Good shot that Pickford made a meal of, but decent shot. Up front, Brozier gets a 4. Looked like a player who hadn't played for months, which is not too surprising because he's a player who hasn't played for months. Very isolated, hasn't got a team around him to support him, so he looked like what it was. Poch gets a 3. Can't fathom some of his decisions. Obviously isn't motivating them. And some of the excuses that we're getting after the game now. Do you remember old Graham Potter? He got absolutely slaughtered, didn't he? And Poch is getting a nice easy ride for some reason. I don't know why. I know he's only 17 games in charge or whatever it is, but he's had a full pre-season. And even these players are sort of way below Chelsea standard for the most part. He should be getting more out of them than he is. Am I wrong? Is it me? Tell me if I am. But I think he should be. I don't know what the answer is. I'm seeing people sack Pochettino in the morning. What's the point? What's the point? I don't know. I can't see a manager, not even Pep or Klopp, doing an awful lot better with this lot of players. The attitude, for the most part, stinks. The ability level, for the most part, stinks. The imagination, for the most part, stinks. It's just, there's no one out there where like when we had Eden Hazard, you think, oh, I wonder if a little bit of magic. We don't really, we're only just realising how he carried that side. I know most of the players are different, but you know what I mean. We've not really been a top side since we won the Champions League in 2012. Let's face it. Let's be honest. We've not really bought many world-class players since then, have we? Eden Hazard is the obvious one that we have, but not been too many. And this Paul Winstanley and these scouts and whoever's negotiating these sort of prices, they need sacking. In the morning. They do need sacking. I wish we could get rid of this board. I really do, because I just think they're going down blind alleys. Everyone tells me their intentions are good, but if you get in a car with a good intention of delivering someone's McDonald's bun on time, but you plough 7 people over on the way there, those good intentions mean that all, do they? Anyway, that's me. I'm not going to say any more. I'm too fed up. Okay, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel and throw the video a like. Speak to you soon. Let me know what you think. Up to Chelsea.